everybody. Oh, dear.
You broke my glasses.
Thanks for watching Access Hockey MI. Thanks always for watching. Also, check out our podcast. It's on a site called PodBean. It's also in the iTunes store. So just search Access Hockey MI and you should find it. If you don't find it, let us know, and we will help you as best we can.
That's right.
We are helpful. Today we're going to talk about two recent signings of the Detroit Red Wings. They re-signed Joe Hicketts and Dominic Turgeon. Joe Hicketts to a 2-year extension, Dominic Turgeon to a 1-year extension.
I'm curious.
We're just going to talk about it. Go for it.
That's a new one. I like that.
It's trying to mix it up, you know.
Yeah. Woo. Anyway, so Joey Hicketts, we've had him for 3 seasons
Nickname
now.
basis.
Oh, yeah. We're buds.
Wow.
We're buds. So most people who follow Grand Rapids and follow the Wings know who Joe Hicketts is. He's been with us for 3 seasons now in his entry level and development and all that, and he has been an outstanding athlete through that all.
Definitely.
I know everybody brings up his size and all that kind of stuff, but besides that, he is probably one of the dominating defensemen on the ice. He can work with the big guys.
I know
guys.
when he's out there, I have full confidence.
Stuff is gonna happen.
In his ability,
exactly,
in our zone play, and pretty much anything.
Yeah. And he's a consistent producer too. Last season he had 64 games played, 27 points, and for a defenseman, and we always kind of come back to this, like the offensive-minded defenseman. Joe does a great job of doing that. But he definitely has a very solid defensive mind. As he says, he fills in the gaps. He's got to get that out, get the puck out and everything. But I think with this recent signing to 2 seasons, it's interesting because Detroit, I think, wants to test it a little bit longer. Yeah. He's done with his entry, so as of now, he's got over 200 games played in the regular season, so he's getting closer to that vet status, which could, over the regular season.
Veteran status in the AHL is a rule they have. If you play over 261 games, you're considered a veteran, and you can't play more than 6 a night. And we currently have 6 veterans.
We always have a vet issue.
So, yeah, we currently have 6 veterans right now. And again, that's over 261 games played in the AHL.
So, scooching up to that. We're probably going to have to face that in the second season of his extension. So, that's something to look out for.
If he keeps going this season, it will be this probably playoff time.
Yeah.
He'll probably be...
Yeah, he'll be getting that. And he gets ice time every night.
But I'm assuming he wouldn't be really a scratch that would be considered.
No.
That's just the thing to speak to Joe Hicketts. He's so reliable, and he's a leader, and he's trusted by the coaching staff, his teammates. I feel like
he's always been healthy, too.
When he's on the ice, and I haven't ever heard of an injury, and if he is injured, I imagine he plays through it.
No one knows. The trainers probably don't even know.
And touching on the size, he is, I would say, smaller compared to our other defensemen. So Dylan McElrath, he's a tall guy, but he plays over it. Yeah, I feel like he does, and I think it's not even something really to consider right now, just because I think his play speaks for it.
He's like a wrecking ball, really.
Yes, I would agree with that. An offensive defenseman wrecking ball.
Exactly, that's a good title.
Yeah.
I like that. You can't put that on like a roster though.
Right.
But Joey, I mean, he's never been injured. He's never scratched or anything like that, and he's always come out and he's performed well. The end of last season, we had a ton of call-ups and issues.
Yes.
And even when he was in Detroit, he was having between 20 and 30 minutes a night. Came back to Grand Rapids having between 20 and 30 minutes a night. He'd go off for a line change, come off, go right back on.
He's a workhorse, and that speaks to, again, the trust of the coaches and knowing that they can put that much on.
He doesn't stop.
And he takes it, and he can do it, and he's probably happy to do it just because he loves it so much. Probably.
Yeah, and that too, along with Joe Hicketts, the 2 seasons, that's an interesting development and interesting decision.
Are you moving on to Dominic Turgeon?
I am,
because I'm going to start it because you're talking a lot.
Oh.
So I'm going to keep going.
So
Dominic Turgeon, well, you just said it a lot. So I'm just,
I got excited.
I'm just stepping in.
I got excited.
So Dominic Turgeon, he's the center for the Griffins currently, and he is also at the end of his the entry level is what they call it. So after you're drafted, you get signed to an entry level position if you're lucky. And he did the 3-year already, and he was kind of waiting a while to sign again, and then he signed to a 1-year extension, which to me was kind of the 1-year extension was kind of a surprise to me. But he's 6'2", he's 201 pounds last weighed in at. We get our stats. It's important to say from EliteProspects.com. Go check them out. They're awesome. We're not sponsored. I just figured you'd like to know that. We drafted him in 2014, and 2014. Since then he's played with the Griffins. He's only played 9 NHL games, and he's played over 200 games. So like Joe Hicketts, he's kind of getting into the almost veteran status. And I think these 2 signings, as far as like Steve Yzerman's concerned, I think he wants to see them because I think they're two players that are worth keeping, which is, of course, why we signed them and, why we wanted them back.
Right.
But I also think that they're two players that this is a very important signing for them, because this is what either your AHL or your NHL.
This is going to make or break it.
You do have the floaters between the two, but I think strong teams are made from a consistent team, and we have a lot of floater in our history.
We do, yeah.
But I think that these are two very important seasons. So Turgeon last year, I feel like, didn't really step into his game until the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he was mentally out of it.
We didn't have a very long playoff run. We were out
first round.
Second round?
It was the first against Chicago.
Did we play them first round?
We did play them.
It's been so long, guys.
It's hard
Can
to
it come back?
That much pain.
Anyways, yeah, seriously. So I feel like he really stepped into his game during the playoffs, which was a little unfortunate because that is pretty late.
Yeah.
But he does contribute, and something about Turgeon is he's a workhorse as well.
He is, yeah.
He's very reliable on the penalty kill. He's a strong body on the ice. He's got incredible skating technique. So I think all these things help to, this is going to be a good season for him.
I think Yzerman, I want to say the reason that these are such short-term extensions, though, too, is because Yzerman was not there throughout their entire development season. So this is going to be a really good chance for him to sit and kind of really take it all in over the course of the season or two and really figure out where these guys fit long-term if they do. And Turge, as you mentioned, like last season, he kind of struggled a little bit to get on the bandwagon, and probably a lot of it has to do with that injury he had. Coming off.
He did. 2018, he had thoracic outlet syndrome, which I'm assuming, and this isn't any knowledge I have, I'm assuming it took that summer to even fully recover to start working out as he used to start training as he used to. So I think coming into this 18-19 season, he was kind of a little behind just because of that. And I think that this summer, since he's healthy, he's pretty much, I think, fully recovered from that.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a good off summer and a good season for him to drive it.
Well, mental development for him too, because we've realized too during his play with Grand Rapids, a lot of his game is mental. He's extremely focused, and I think if one part of that is just off, you can tell when he's playing that he's not, something's missing. And I think that was probably a big thing last season, where he'd get out there and put his whole heart into every shift, but I think mentally there's a little bit of a disconnect there.
Could have been, yeah.
Back.
Yeah, and I think that also, like she said with the call-ups, we had at one point 9 of our Griffins
obliterated
up to the Red Wings, and that takes a toll on the team that's left behind.
Right.
And it took a toll on our team, and then we couldn't get the chemistry back. We ended up losing a lot. Pulled it together for some playoff time, but I think as these two players are concerned, I think they both have a lot more to give. I mean, it's I'm not saying that they haven't given enough, because they are two incredible players.
Oh, yeah.
I love watching them, and they're great Griffins. And I think they'd be really good NHL players.
They got to
too.
take it to that next level, though.
Yes.
Both of them do.
And I think they know that, and I think any player, because that's the goal. Your goal isn't to be like a career or AHL. I think your goal is, of course, a Stanley.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the dynasty that's going to be created, I think, and the Red Wings have a really good organization. They always have, I think. And both Joe and Dom, they fit in that formula, but they've got to force the issue, especially with all these young prospects coming up.
Yeah.
They have got to have the best seasons of their life in order to push themselves in front of the pack and go, okay, why should we consider Turgeon over Veleno?
Yeah.
Veleno's coming in; he's going to be some stiff competition. So even for a vet like Turge, so I think they're gonna really have to step it up and force.
And I think they'll both be good guys for these new guys coming up to play with too. So, like we said, Joe Hicketts and Dominic Turgeon recently re-signed with the Red Wings Grand Rapids Griffins. Check out all of our articles and things like that on these two guys and on the Griffins.
We have other video casts highlighting both of them.
Yeah, so, and also keep up with us in the coming year. We get interviews and stuff like that we post to other websites as well as contributors. So make sure you check out our podcast. Thanks so much for watching. Tell your friends. Tell even people who aren't your friends, because we just want your friends too.
We want everyone to love hockey.
Yeah, so subscribe and make sure you keep following along and let us know what you think in the comments, because we love that too. Bye, guys.